We're on the verge of ecological collapse on both of those rivers, and it's not just me saying it, the data is out there. I think we're being let down, and I think they could do a lot more. Poultry and sewerage, that hugely needs to be addressed, because, you know, what is the legacy of this government going to be? The evidence that I have and have collected over the years, it just shows a diabolical state. It really does. You know, and human health, animals, it's all about that. But we are losing those wonderful ecosystems that we hold so dearly, you know. And there's thousands of people around the country, just like myself, who love their river or their coastline, who are witnessing exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. And yet, apparently there's been a growth in pursuits like wild swimming, paddle boarding on the Wye and other Welsh rivers. Is your advice to people not to go out on the rivers? I mean, is it a situation as bad as that?
Well, I won't take anybody in the river. I test regularly. I've trained many volunteers. On the Wye and the Usk, we have over 340 citizen science volunteers testing that water. We're sharing data with scientists, and it clearly shows those pollution hotspots. I know every combined storm outlet on the Wye and the Usk. I know every intensive poultry unit. I know when they've muck spread. And certain sections I won't even touch of the river. And for 6-7 weeks in the summer months, when the river levels were so low, the green algae blooms were so dangerous, I told everybody, you know, we had families, children, to stay out of the water, because not only were the wildlife absolutely being, you know, struggling, but if anybody goes into that river, it's dangerous, you know. And I've had so many reports of people being ill. So I would only go into that river when I test and I know it's in those levels. All the other time, I will stay out of it. I took a weekend off to go down to the coast of Pembrokeshire, and I went in at Wiseman's Bridge in my kayak to kayak around the coast, and there was a huge amount of sewage coming out of there. And I said to an adventure company, what on earth, how long has that been going on? And they go, well, we didn't notice it. But there was, so I had my testing kit, the phosphate levels were off there, the nitrates. So I'm trying to get away from pollution. So the whole of Wales, this is going on. But like I said, the Wye, poultry and sewerage, that hugely needs to be addressed. Because, you know, what is the legacy of this government going to be?
When you say this government, which government are you talking about?
Well, we've got the Welsh government, we've got Westminster. I feel really privileged that I'm sat here in front of all parties today, because, you know, I'm just the wild woman of the Wye, they call me. But I don't want to be out there, I don't want to be campaigning. This is so out of my comfort zone, but I'm so passionate about saving it, and I feel like it's being let down drastically.
Okay.
Many of the technicalities, frankly, go over my head. But I mean, it has been suggested that the discharges and the contents of the discharges are not monitored in a comprehensive way. It's very selective. Would you, Ms. Jones, agree with that?
I'd like to add to that, definitely. You know, the CSOs. A lot of them are self-monitored by Welsh Water themselves. When I have video footage of them releasing when they've not been recorded by Welsh Water, and then I have to show them videos. And then we talk about the River Usk now. There wasn't a group on the River Usk, citizen science, so I started a group up there. I've got 42 trained volunteers. We are seeing regular discharges of sewerage, but debris. You know, we've got sanitary towels coming down. And think, August the 4th, it was one of the driest weeks of the year. The river levels are really low. The CSO is pumping out poo, toilet paper. There's about 20, 30 children and their family 100 metres down from their CSO. Welsh Water come to this incident. They have a big vehicle, and think we're in drought now, big vehicle full of water, and they hose down the CSO and they shout to the children, please get out of the water, there's debris coming down. I've got that all on video. You know, it's there, it's what's happening. And what the people are being told are that if they don't agree to this sewage going into the water, it's going to come up in their houses. So, like the normal people out there who listen to this will think, right, okay, it's going to cost us a fortune to fix this, or we're going to have a backlog in our houses. And when we're in a storm, overflow, and it comes out, fair enough. You know, certain times it has to, but it's not the case. And it's one of those things when I do meet up with Welsh Water, they don't even know when they are releasing. They don't know this information. And it's a really sad, sad day to think that children can't play. And our future generations, you know, it's sad.
As far as I'm aware, there doesn't seem to be a clear body or way of monitoring any discharges or leakages from those types of, you know, self-contained independent systems. I don't know who would like to go first.
I've seen it firsthand. Right. So septic tanks overflowing, going into the river, businesses that were on septic tanks releasing into the river. Yeah, we have to address that as well, and that has to be regulated. And it's, you know, we think it's about 10% of what's getting into our river as well. So it's very broad, you know, and agricultural runoff, that's major. And then can I just say about planning? We say about planning with housing, but we're still getting planning on more intensive poultry units, and if they're being withheld, what they're doing is having extensions, you know, so they're applying for extensions as well. So that's still being passed. So from planning to rural places, I always say to people, I never ever want to grow my business. It's all about that circle of just connecting it all together. You know, we start in our homes, looking after what we've got, and then we're going out into the outdoors. We protect and we respect that. You know, and all the way through this, for the last 5-6 years, I've been campaigning. I'm dyslexic, I don't have any home internet, but if I can hold polluters to account and gather this amount of data and just keep going, and I have it, you know, I get absolutely bombarded by vigilantes trying to knock me off what I'm trying to do. There's no ulterior motive but to bring change. And we really are letting our rivers and coastal waters down, and you know, it is, I'm sorry, but it's so close to my heart.
No, thank you.
What is your assessment of the steps taken by the Welsh Government and the Wales Better River Quality Task Force to tackle the problem of sewage discharges?
I don't think they've done enough. I think we're being let down. And I think they could do a lot more. But when we've got cross-border rivers, you know, that's a real struggle for that to happen as well. So yeah, I do. I feel like we're being let down, and they could do a lot more. But again, Westminster, we need Westminster to step up as well. And with the Wye, I know I keep going back to the Wye, but the Wye's my river, the Usk is my river. You talk to any fisherman, any child that wants to go in there. We're on the verge of ecological collapse on both of those rivers. And it's not just me saying it, the data is out there. And if we don't, I've done so much table talking and listening over the years. If we don't act now, we really have lost those rivers. Poultry farming needs to be addressed absolutely now. There's no question about that. Sewerage, CSOs, pumping. You know, I'm on the river at night. I see when they pump out at night. You know, it's just an awful thought to think that those beautiful spaces that are so gorgeous. You know, water is life. Those places that we all enjoy and is great for our mental health and everything, we're losing them. And we will not be able to get them back once they're gone. We've got scientists behind it. You know, let us do that part. Let us give you that information. Let us share that information. We need NRW to do their job.
Do they engage with you at all, or do you feel generally just ignored in this whole
system?
Well,
as I said, I'm independent. Everything I do is self-funded. And NRW, even at the moment, you know, I've sent letters, legal letters to them where I've given them evidence, and I've clearly for years been collecting evidence where they haven't been using it. And I meet up with them. I tell them, you know, where I am, what I'm doing, where the pollution is, and you know, for instance, we've got slurry that's been coming down from one particular farm for years. We've been monitoring it, testing it. It's way off the phosphate level, nitrate levels. They've got all the evidence. Nothing. The same with one particular combined storm outlet. No permit on it. Made panorama there. Nothing. I can't personally do any more than I'm doing, and I feel really privileged to be here today, because this is the highest step and stage that I can get for you to actually listen, to please help us with our rivers.